Non-stop rock talk with Tyson Bryden. Good afternoon, Nick. Really good to talk to you, man. Welcome to Non-stop rock talk. How you doing, man?
Hey, good man. How are you? Thanks for having me.
I'm very good indeed. I have to say that in North America, we don't get enough press on Gotthard. It's funny because the latest album, 13, I actually came across the release party on YouTube. I was just kind of scrolling through YouTube one day, and I was like, what the hell is this? So I watched the video, and I was like, is this all the new music? Like, this is amazing. And I had been a fan in the past. It's just we don't get enough press on anything in terms of the band. So, and sometimes you kind of lose touch, right?
Yeah. I really should talk to my people then.
Yeah, the music's so good, and you guys, this is the 13th album, and like, I tell my friends, and they're like, who? I'm like, oh man, like, they're this huge band in Switzerland, and nobody knows, a lot of people don't know who they are in North America. There are some that do, and the ones that do know you guys, they absolutely love the band. It's just like, the word needs to be spread more across here, so that, because the music is, I think, is so good that people should be able to hear it.
Oh, thanks a lot, man. Thanks. It'd be fantastic. You know, I obviously and to just come and play over as well would be great. You know, absolutely. It's always difficult, you know. It's who does what and how things. Of course, the band's based in Europe and it's been touring, you know, here in Europe for so many years. So it's kind of the following is here and everything is here. And I guess I don't know. I guess the promo people don't really push it in other territories, maybe, or you know.
Yeah, it's really a strange thing. I think a lot of European bands though that like hard rock bands, because hard rock's not huge here anymore. It's such a weird dynamic in terms of music over, and especially in Canada. I'm not too sure on the States. I think they're a little bit more open because there's so many more people. We're 37 million, and they're 335 million or something like that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, for sure.
So,
yeah, the thing is, of course, in Europe, I was living in Australia for kind of, you know, I've been in Switzerland for about 10 years now, but before that I was in Australia for like 17 years, and it was, very different. I had no idea the hard rock kind of thing was still going so strong, you know, until I sort of joined the band and moved here and realized that, wow, there's actually Europe is there's so many festivals in so many different countries here, and they're all predominantly all hard rock ones, you know, they're all rock ones and stuff. So and a lot of these bands that you kind of thought did, you know, from the 80s, or you know, that you kind of thought, or even 70s, or, you know, that you thought didn't kind of exist anymore, well, they're still touring, you know, they're still here, and there's so much kind of going on, even though, like, kind of, you know, in the mainstream on the radio and everything, you're not really getting much hard rock, but it doesn't matter. Still, these bands are still, you know, playing everywhere, and some of the bigger ones filling out stadiums and stuff without any radio or anything, you know. So it's it's still very much alive in Europe, for sure.
That's fantastic. I love hearing that too, because over here like I said, it's just so different.
I think it's similar to what you're describing. Is probably very similar to Australia as well. You know, the hard rock thing is not really. It's pretty small. You know,
yeah.
Which I was always talking about this with actually a good friend of mine, the boys from Airborne. You know, and they're sort of saying the same thing as well. You know, so it's just kind of weird because it's Oz rock, you know.
Yeah, Airborne,
and it's working kind of better outside of Australia, and you know, it's kind of weird.
That is kind of weird. Airborne actually had radio play here, I think, on the first album, and then and that's another dynamic here is you'll get an album will come out, they'll play that first album. By the time the next album comes out, it may not be cool anymore. North America's so trendy in terms of music, and it drives you crazy, right? Like. But bands like Def Leppard and Motley Crue and Poison, like the bigger bands, they still sell it like for shows, right? So people,
yeah.
and everybody talks about it. Like they've been talking about that tour that's going to be here in the summer if it happens, about that for months, and everybody's totally anticipating it. But for smaller bands, it's a lot tougher.
Yeah, for sure.
So you came from Australia? Were you? I'm kind of changing a little bit here, but were you? I'm assuming you were singing over there in a band.
Yeah, I mean, I'm Swiss as well. I was born in Switzerland, and most of my family's, well, all my family really is from here, and we, my parents migrated to Australia when I was just after I was born, sort of thing. I really grew up between both countries, sort of doing 2 or 3 years here, 2 or 3 years there, and kind of just back and forth. Always kind of being the new kid in school, I suppose.
Yeah.
And I had bands. I mean, I my entire life, lots of bands, I've been doing this since for a very long time. So, but at that time, I'd been in Australia for when I started auditioning for Gotthard in 2010. I think it was 2010 when I started the audition process. I was still living I'd been in Australia for something like 17 years or something, and I'd had quite a few bands and signed a few major labels and things. So I've been doing it for quite a while. And the band I had just before that was actually a band called Maeder, which I had with my brother.
Oh, okay, cool.
And we were Warner Brothers signed band, and before that I had some other things with my brother as well. We sort of always been doing it, since we were kids, really. And, yeah.
How did Gotthard find you?
Well, we actually, funnily enough, back in back in like '94 or something, I was living in Switzerland at the time, and I had a band there at the time, and we actually played in the same festival together. Oh, wow. They were headlining the festival already.
Yeah.
And my band, we were opening the festival, so it was so I think it was their first album, and even maybe the second by then. I'm not sure, but we So I mean, of course, I always knew about Gotthard being such a big Swiss band, and then kind of lived in Australia then shortly after that, and for such a long time I completely lost touch with kind of what was going on in Switzerland musically, really. Mm-hmm. And just focused on really what where I was in Australia, and and then I've heard that Steve Lee their singer had passed away, and actually a friend of mine who was the drummer at the time, he was the drummer for Crocus actually here in Switzerland, and so he contacted me and thought that I should audition, and so I kind of did, I started the whole process, and I think the whole auditioning thing took about altogether, because I went back for quite a few. We even spent some time songwriting together before I was in the band as well. So we just kind of, I think the whole process went about 8 months.
Wow.
By the time but they had also a lot of people to go through. Something like over 400 people that applied that went for the job. So
that's crazy.
So it was so it just took it took a really long time. So what seemed to be a long time for me. I mean, 8 months is kind of long. Yeah. And actually, I was going back and forth between Australia and Switzerland quite a lot. And I think I did the trip 3 times in that space of time, to going back. Oh, you want to come back again? Can you come back? And eventually got the job, and then all of a sudden I had like 3 weeks to kind of pack my life up and leave.
Wow.
So that's and then it was just rush. It was, and then kind of never really stopped. It's been almost 10 years. So.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was just looking at that the other day, and I was like, 10 years already. Holy cow! It's amazing. Yeah, it flies, right?
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, 4 studio albums for me now already, and it's like, wow. I actually find it still hard to believe.
Yeah, and I mean, from watching that YouTube video, I just noticed the interaction of you guys, and you guys just seemed like you were having fun, and it was Like there were some funny parts where Mark goes and takes the picture of
Yeah.
no audience, and he's like, "Hey, you in the back," and then you come on, and you're like, I don't know where he comes up with this stuff. Like it was so funny, right? This is I honestly have watched, like, I have a treadmill in my apartment, so I'll run on the treadmill and I'll turn that on and crank the crap out of it because it gets me pumped up watching it. So I've watched that video like 10 times.
Oh wow, awesome! Yeah, no, well, I mean that was again, it was right at the start of this lockdown stuff, and
Yeah.
we literally we still didn't know if our tour was going to be cancelled. We had no idea. It was really just at the beginning, and we had this release date. I mean, we talked about, do we change the release date of the album? Do we, but it was just, everything was just set in motion, and we just thought, no, let's just keep going with it. And then they made us cancel our release party, and then we figured we could maybe try and do it in a radio station, because there's this close to where our rehearsal room is. There's actually in the Italian-speaking side of Switzerland, actually really close to, on the border of Italy, which is kind of one of the worst hit areas with the virus, right?
Yeah.
And so we thought we would do this radio show. They've got this great stage with cameras and things, and we could have streamed it from there. And then that didn't work out because of the whole being so close to the north of Italy there, and everything kind of started shutting down there as well. And it was just as it was going on, so we just had to keep changing plans literally daily.
Yeah.
Until I think it was maybe Leo or someone came up with the idea, just said, hey, why don't we just do it in our rehearsal room? Let's just so we just got a film crew to come down, and just thought, hey, let's just do it. Let's just invite people into our rehearsal room and just kind of do a laid back, play a few of the new songs and stuff, and it's I'm really happy. I mean, I was a bit I wasn't sure about doing this thing. I thought, I don't know, but because no one had really, it was right at the beginning of this whole streaming thing, I suppose, but I'm so glad we did it now. I mean, it's at least it's kind of one thing that we're able to do, so before and literally after that we just we haven't seen each other.
Oh wow. Yeah, and that was March 13th, right?
March 13th, yeah, and then we literally we all went our separate ways, and that's it. We and then everything sort of started getting cancelled. So we're supposed to start the European tour in about like 5 days, and we were supposed to start in Budapest, and then Vienna, I think, and then work our way through Germany and then back down to Switzerland, and we had some France and Italy, and so a whole lot of places, and literally was supposed to start in about 5 days. So that was the first thing to get cancelled, which we pushed to January, but the Swiss tour we pushed to October, which I'm still hoping that'll happen, obviously, because we never know how long these things go on for. And all the summer festivals have not been cancelled yet; they're still on.
But
I've got I don't know about that. Honestly, the first one we're supposed to play is 26th of June, but I don't know. It seems quite close.
I know, it's crazy. You're thinking
stuff going on.
I mean, it's the beginning of April, but we're thinking like late June, and it does seem close because 2 months goes by so quickly, right?
I mean, it's so quick, and with all this stuff, and I mean, the news is changing every day. Okay, things seem to kind of be easing up a little, but still, I think by the time they actually let people, get like big gatherings happen again, I think it's going to be, I don't know. I mean, it's we just have no idea.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, on that video, the first song, which was "Every Time I Die," when Leo starts chugging that, like, I believe it's probably in drop D, because it's just like, it's so heavy. It's just like, that is like the perfect lead off in the way you guys did it, because it's different than on the album. There's more of an intro on the album, just chugging on that D, and then Fred comes in with the guitar, and like that song just drives, man. That is such a good tune.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Thanks, man. Yeah. No, it's well, we actually that song was I actually wanted to open the album with that song, and we ended up going for another one, but for bad news, obviously. But but I always thought it'd be a great opener, and also a great opener for shows as well. You know, so it's always great if you can open the show with the opener on the album. It's always great. You know?
Yeah.
But we sort of tried it, and we figured out that because we sort of spent, you know, we were preparing for the tour, so we sort of spent, you know, a couple of weeks. We'd already been practicing for a couple of weeks and trying out all the new songs just to see which ones we're going to do live and which ones kind of work the best and all this sort of stuff. And that one always, every time I die, always just sounds great. It just works straight away. It just doesn't need much effort, you know. It's like just one of those songs you just kind of plug in and play. It just works, you know. So, and it's a great kind of fast, you know, fast song with a great drive. And we just thought, hey, let's really try it as an opener for the shows, so that's
I mean,
totally work.
As soon as that comes on, I'm just like it catches your attention. It's just one of those, just that riff at the beginning, and it's so simple, but it just it just captures you. And then the other part that comes in over top, it just like it's such a great build up.
So, no, we're pretty happy with that actually. Yeah. So hopefully if all goes well, we can do the same kind of thing live again. You know, when it'll be actually great fun to do it in front of an audience. You know.
Yeah, exactly. You know what's funny is that I ordered the vinyl of 13 on Amazon, but I won't get it probably I think it's coming from the States. So I probably won't see it for another month. But another funny story was I wanted to order the vinyl of Silver on Amazon.
Yeah.
So this was Wednesday. I looked at it. It was $33, like 33 Canadian. The next day I went back to order it, and they had one left and bumped it up to $140.
Oh, what?
Yeah. I was like, are you kidding me? Really? So anyways, I went on Discogs. I don't know if you're familiar with Discogs, but it's
no.
It's a vinyl buying site, and they've got everything. And I found it on there, a brand new copy. Someone had it for sale for $40 with shipping from Europe, perfect. And I was like, okay, that's good. So it's just it's like these times are weird. Even Amazon, you look at pricing, and they're like bumping everything up, and it's really sad to be bumping up an album to $140. That just
especially, I mean, it's hard enough. I think it's, as you know, the music industry in general, I mean, it's hard enough to sell anything anyway, it's with all the streaming and everything going on. So, I mean, that's a bit harsh. Really, that's a bit harsh. Like, it's really making it difficult for people there. You know?
Yeah, to me, that's not right. The music should be, if people are still buying music, make it reasonable for them to buy it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
What I also was really cool was you guys did Top of the World on that video. And I think I prefer that song live than the album version, to be honest with you, because of it's just the way you guys do it live with, you know, how like the first part of the verse does the chords, what is it, like a B minor G A, and then you change the progression of the chords in the second part of the verse, and it just builds it up so awesome. So, and when you guys do it live, you guys are such a tight band. Like it's just dead on, right?
Oh, cool. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I don't think I've heard the album. I mean, I heard the album version, obviously, when I was learning the songs, you know, kind of 10 years ago. And I actually, it'd be interesting for me to listen back to it.
Yeah, it's just not as powerful as it is live. It's one of those things. And you guys are such a good live band that I sometimes find that stuff that is on album, I like it when you guys do it live because it's just like so much energy, right?
Yeah. Oh, cool.
And not saying that the albums aren't great, because they are. It's just there's just that live dynamic, and a lot of bands don't do that. There's a lot of bands that aren't as good live as they are on album. So
I mean, I think we always try and kind of and we don't necessarily do exactly what's on the album either. Like we'll try, because some parts work great on an album, but live they could be either a bit messy, or they could be, there could be 100 reasons why maybe there's certain parts that don't work as well. So we always really kind of readapt things to make them work live. And we usually spend a good part of the month really just nutting out the new songs, how we could really make them translate the best live, I suppose. And there's another thing too, is when most of the time when you're writing an album, the songs are just kind of brand new, so you're not really, you do them a certain way, but they kind of evolve over time, so because it's that's another thing as well.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned that, and that kind of segues into this question, because on the album there's the 2 demos for No Time to Cry and I Can Say I'm Sorry, and the way those songs evolved, like for instance, I Can Say I'm Sorry, the demo version is piano, and then on the album you guys actually switched it to acoustic guitar, with you coming in right with the vocal.
Yeah, well, it was. I mean, initially, that's right. Initially, it was just. I wrote that one. And it was like just a piano. Really, it was, and it stayed a piano song for quite some time in the production as well. And then we kept a piano, but we had still full band as well, but piano, and no heavy guitars or anything. And we could never quite get it right, And we just, I don't know, the build up to the chorus or something. It didn't quite. We were never happy with it, and in the end we just thought, let's take a completely different approach, get rid of the whole piano thing, and let's just do, how would we play it in our rehearsal room without a keyboard player, just us, how would we do it, sort of thing, and then we just went with acoustic, kind of the same approach to Remember It's Me, with just kind of acoustic guitar start and then kind of build it up that way, and we then we kind of preferred it that way. We thought, no, let's go with that. Yeah, and because also we had already the SOS in there as a piano song, we thought maybe it's kind of a good idea not to have too many piano songs,
Good call. I mean, and then No Time to Cry in the demo, it's the drums, a slide guitar, allowing your voice to ring out more, but then in the album version, again, it changed. The guitar is more prominent and creates this like really cool build up.
Well, this was a big thing from actually from Paul Lanny, who was co-producing with Leo, and when he sort of came in, and we'd already recorded all the songs, we had all the demos, and then he likes to just he'll come in and we'll play a song to him, and he'll make some notes, and then kind of have some suggestions, or sometimes just leave it as it is. But he's not shy. I mean, he hated that one.
Oh, really?
He sort of said, you know what, guys, we all quite liked it, actually, the demo version. We were really happy with it, actually. And he just sort of came in and said, well, you know what, I hate that song. It's just so dated, so this, so that. That guitar riff at the beginning, awful. He was just bagging the shit out of the song. And we just went, oh, okay. And he just said, no, let's just do a really heavy, let's try something completely different. Let's just do a really kind of heavier version of it. And and then we just jammed, because at that point what we do is he'll come into the studio and we'll all be set up and ready to go. And then we just play the songs. We actually first we listen to it and then we'll just play the song. So we kind of have to we have to learn them as well. Yeah. And then from there on we'll start just from jamming around with him in the room. We'll start to kind of change things around a bit. And that was probably one of the ones that had the really major change.
So how did
it happened to a few songs? That was the major change.
How did he feel about the song after? Did he?
He really liked it. The only thing he wasn't so keen on was the strings.
Oh.
In that song, that's one part which he wasn't so keen on. I mean, but he tends to prefer things that are kind of real and raw, and he doesn't want to overproduce, which is great. I mean, that's exactly what he's all about: getting the vibe and getting the feel right, and getting, it's got to be real. It's got to be, it's got to. You've got to kind of feel this the magic. You know, he's got to capture that magic, and that to him is way more important than adding on a whole lot of stuff. So, but which is why we wanted him. I mean, we were really pretty conscious about the fact that we wanted a fairly raw sounding album.
Yeah.
And we knew that he could do that. I mean, we worked with him, obviously, with me, with the first album, the Firebirth album, and that's exactly what he delivered as well. I mean, just a really ball-tearing album, and that's kind of what we wanted with him as well on this one. So, I mean, we even talked about not having any keyboards in this album at all.
Oh, wow.
He actually wasn't keen on having any keyboards at all. So, of course, we want to, it's part the
dynamic.
The Hammond is kind of a part of our sound, as well. Even if it's in the background, but it is part of the wall of sound that we kind of have in Gotthard. So we definitely we talked about it, but we knew that we would end up putting some in anyway. But obviously it's just kind of it's not as in front, but it's definitely still in there. Yeah.
Yeah, and
that's one of the things I love about working with a producer like that is when I actually really like it when they come in and they sort of say, you know what, I hate that song, or just the kind of, I think the friction as well. The friction kind of makes you rethink. It takes you out of your comfort zone and it makes you rethink what you're doing. And I think for us it really it has worked well, I think, and in the past with him as well.
Perfect. Like working with him on Mysteria, I mean, that's a great lead off track. I love those Indian style phrasings that accompany the song, the intro. The groove's really simplistic, yet I think if it's not approached properly, again, going back to the tightness of the band, it's kind of like that, like Pour Some Sugar on Me by Def Leppard. It's like, it's such a simple song, but if it's not executed properly, it's not going to come across.
Yeah. Well, that was a funny one as well, with all this kind of, this Oriental kind of female voices on there and stuff. I mean, that was from him as well. I mean, that was completely, we never even planned that. I mean, we had that song finished. Yeah. And we had our backing vocalists from the two girls from our previous tour, because we were still, while we were making this album, we still had a few festivals where we were touring the Defrosted, the acoustic tour as well, which we have, we had backing singers in. So, and we'd just done a thing with them, and they were around, and we thought, hey, why don't you guys just come around and get you guys to sing on some choruses and kind of, get some choirs happening and things on this album. And one of the girls, she's Egyptian, and Paul just sort of said, hey, just try and just improvise anything. Let's just run the song from top to bottom and just improvise anything that comes to mind, Cool. And she just tried all these Oriental things on there, and yeah, we all thought, wow, that's kind of really different.
Yeah.
And we kept it, but it was never planned that way at all. And it's just kind of just happened, just the song just kind of took a life of its own, as they all kind of did, but yeah.
Yeah, that's
it's interesting.
Really good video too. The video's cool.
It was fun.
So now let's talk about SOS. Now, I had the first time I ever heard that song was you guys doing it on that video, and I was actually watching it at work before we were all shut down, because I think we were after Europe and being, people being
yeah.
So anyways, the song's playing, and the guy I work with, he's like, I know that song. I was like, what do you mean? He goes, my mom used to play that song all the time. It's an ABBA song. I was like, what? So I had no idea. And I'm like, wow. He's like, oh, they did a really good job with it. How did you guys end up doing that song?
Well, actually, it was the Swiss television was doing for Christmas, for last Christmas. Actually, they were doing this ABBA tribute night, and they asked me to if I wanted to come in and do an ABBA song. I'd do my version of an ABBA song, and I mean I'm not big fan, you know, kind of. I mean, I'm a fan of the songwriting, but obviously amazing songwriters. But you know, it's kind of same thing. Was my mum's favorite band and all this stuff. So you kind of wasn't my thing at all.
Yeah.
But so I thought about it for a while. I thought, I don't know, and I just kind of listened to a few different ABBA ones, and I just sort of thought, oh, maybe SOS I could do something, and I just recorded a just piano and voice version of it at my house, and then I just sort of figured out that actually this could work quite well. So I decided to do the TV show.
Yeah.
And then I just during the writing sessions with the guys, I just told them what I was doing. I said, I'm doing this ABBA thing, blah blah, and hey, I showed them the recording, of what I'd done, and they loved it. And then Leo, he turned around and said, well, actually, we wanted to record this song with Steve years ago.
Oh, wow.
And because apparently they were going to do an album, a covers album, and which never happened in the end. But apparently there was kind of a demo version somewhere of where they actually did a version of SOS, but a kind of really fast version, kind of more like kind of fast punk version of it. And so he was really keen, and the guys were really keen to, hey, let's record it, let's try it. So we did a few versions. We did that as well. We did kind of fast punky version of it, and then we did this version and tried a few things, and we settled on this one in the end. This was the kind of most, I suppose, the one with the most power and emotion, and the one that's the more far away from ABBA as you possibly can.
No, and
and probably it's the most Gotthard way, sounding way of doing it for us. So but we really tried a few versions before we have to get it right.
Yeah, I like the it starts with the piano thing, and then you guys really do it. It gets heavier with the guitar, and it just sounds so great, and it meshes so well together. It's such a great.
I love it how the kind of the kind of guitar chords come in, and then in between you've still got the piano doing its thing. It's just the blend. I really love it, actually.
Yeah, it's really well done. Now getting to 10,000 Faces is funny because in the YouTube thing, there's that part on the album, and it says right on Amazon Music, explicit, because it says, "Oh fuck yeah," and then is that you laughing on there? There's a little laugh. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, it is actually. Yeah.
It's comical. Huh?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just one of those things, that was actually a song that initially came from our bass player, from Mark, and he was sort of telling me, you should, let's try and do something where you could kind of write a song about how you felt, the first, or kind of before the very first show that I did with the guys and all this sort of thing.
Yeah.
And so I was just kind of all about that, and then with a kind of a funny twist, and we were tracking the vocals. It was for the demo, just Leo and I, and we just kind of wrote the lyrics there and then as we were recording it, really, and it happened pretty fast. And and Leo loved the oh fuck yes and all this stuff.
I love it because you know what? As soon as I'm waiting for that part, I don't know why. I'm like probably still like a 13-year-old kid that I'm like, oh, I can actually say the word fuck because it's in the song, right? but then in the video because people are watching, so you didn't do it, and I just kind of laughed at that. I was like, oh, you didn't do that part. But another part of the song is, I'm assuming that in the studio you didn't use a megaphone; it was just EQ'd on the board differently.
No, well, actually, in the studio, what we did is actually that was Paul's idea. Was he actually wanted me to sing falsetto, this whole kind of super high falsetto thing, and so that was actually a big debate within the band because it was really departing from Gotthard to do that, and we. It's that kind of falsetto with a bit of distortion going on, and you kind of there's a few people have done that, and he really thought that was the way that that song should sound, and of course half of the guys in the band really didn't like it at all, and the other half did. So we were kind of in between. So in the end, we did also a version where I sing it at the octave lower, and then we just blended the two voices together.
Nice.
And then that's actually how we get that. That's actually how that sound came about, you know. But and it just seemed, and I just thought, well, I could, you know, the megaphone would be kind of a way to reproduce that live, you know.
Oh, that's good, because it's funny because there's actually there's a band, American band called Bullet Boys that just reunited, and they did a live show, and the first song they did, they come out and the singer's got a megaphone, and you can't hear it. You can't hear them. Like it didn't come out properly.
Oh, it didn't. Oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was kind of. They said I interviewed the guitar player, and he said they just kind of experimented with it, and unfortunately, it didn't work. But when you did it, you guys, did you practice it prior, like that, or you just went in and did it?
I was doing it at rehearsals. Yeah, I mean, I was doing it there, and then and then we gave it a try with on the day that we recorded the release party. Then we had our sound guy there and actually our live guy.
Yeah.
And and he thought it was fine. He said, yeah, no, that'll definitely work on stage as well. So he was fine, and he made it work anyway. So yeah.
Oh, it was cool. It's cool to see that. So Bad News, you during that video as well, you mentioned that you guys didn't write that song?
We wrote it with Eric Bazillion from the Hooters. Yeah. He spent a few days. He's a buddy of mine as well. I met him a few years back with Leo, and actually I wrote a few songs with him actually in the past, and we I just thought it would be a good idea for him to come down to Switzerland for a few days and see what we could come up with, and so Bad News was the one that sort of the first one that we did, an idea that he had, and we sort of finished that one off. And then he had another idea, which actually he wasn't an idea. Actually, the Marry You song was a song that he'd had for years. It was he actually wrote that and recorded it himself and played it to his wife as a marriage proposal. Wow. And so it's been around for quite a while, and he's been married ever since for quite some time. But he never did anything with the song because it was kind of like a kind of more of a personal song, I suppose, and we were just talking about songs, and he showed it to us, and we and Leo just sort of really jumped on it. He was like, "Wow, we've got to record this song. We've absolutely got to record this song." He just loved it.
Yeah.
And by that stage, it was like 4 a.m, and we'd had a bottle of whiskey by then, and but we thought, hey, yeah, let's just go. So we just walked down in the studio and recorded it there and then. I mean, it was like I said, and the recording on the album is actually that. It's literally 4 a.m. after a bottle of whiskey, So
wow,
and then we just added some strings to it later, but the recording is basically that's it. Yeah.
Wow, that's a cool song too. Again, another Last Time. I think that might be my favorite track on the album. I'm not sure. I mean, I like them all, but they're all so good. I love your phrasing going in, and then you go with the baby, baby, and then you bleed it right back into the chorus. Like it's baby, baby, and then back into the chorus, and it sounds so cool.
Oh yeah. Well, that was thanks to that. That was actually the first. That's the first song we did. I think that's the first song we wrote for the album. Actually,
it's catchy.
Yeah, actually, Freddie came to my house and he had this riff, and we just started, and that's really how it started. And then we had. It was funny because as we were starting to I was looking at the vocal lines, and Freddie just sort of said. He just kind of mumbled, Mother Mary something, and I was like, Mother Mary, fuck. But okay, so then I just kind of I played around with with a few kind of very known words, let's say.
Yeah, no, it was. And the first time I heard it, I was like, did he just say baby, baby? Because you don't in a pop song you usually hear that, but not like a lot of hard rock bands will put that in a song. And I just thought it seemed natural and it just fit with the way the song went. It's cool. And now I find when I have it on, and like if I'm driving in the car and I've got the album on, I just want to sing along to it because I love that part. So,
oh, cool, cool.
Which is funny. Now, save the date. Now that's just like a common term people use, and I was kind of surprised that it was used in a song. Did you write the words to that song?
Yeah. Let me try and remember. What do we say? I think that was that the actual save the date.
Yeah.
Was actually that was Leo. Actually, he wanted to do something with that. Yeah.
Cool.
And then I had to write words around it.
Yeah, and that's why I say it's so like save the date. Okay, because that's a term that we use. Like we're getting married. Save the date. We're getting married on this date. Kind of you'll get something in the mail or an email. And when I saw it on a song, I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. But I mean, the song's great. So still.
Yeah, I think this is another one we played around with a bit as well. That had extra parts initially, I think, and we kind of simplified. I think Paul wanted to just kind of chop it up a bit and simplify it as well. That one and the intro as well was very different. We didn't have that in the beginning either. So
wow,
yeah, it's another one that sort of evolved.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to let you go in a second, and I really appreciate you for coming on the show.
No worries, probably.
I was actually watching the Made in Switzerland DVD the other day.
Yeah.
I go back and forth to what I can't watch the same one every day. But I'm just curious, like in Zurich, like that arena is packed. Is that the way it is in Switzerland for you guys all the time?
Generally speaking, yeah. Switzerland is our biggest. It's really our biggest territory here. So it's we're actually considered, mainstream here in Switzerland.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely here is. Germany is also quite big, but Switzerland is definitely our biggest territory for sure. Yeah. And I mean, I say mainstream because we're we get a lot of press here as well. Like we're quite often in newspapers, and magazines, and TV, and a lot of different things. So it's a little bit more like like a pop band would or something.
Yeah, that's amazing.
But I mean that's pretty particular though. It's really more just Switzerland where it's really like that.
That must be. I mean, the first time you went on stage and saw that must have been quite the feeling.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is, I knew they were quite a big band when I joined, obviously, but I didn't realize how big.
Yeah.
I didn't realize what I was getting myself into.
Yeah.
And it was kind of crazy, but I think the craziest thing was, we were keeping it all very secret when I joined, and from all the press and everything, because there was always a big question on who was going to replace Steve Lee. I mean, he was a very big personality in Switzerland and heavily mediatized when he died, and obviously was going to be very mediatized when whoever was going to replace him. So it was. Yeah, it was. We sort of prepared everything. We were ready. We had a song called "Remember It's Me," and we had the video clip done. Everything was ready to go, and that's how we planned to sort of introduce me as the new singer, was to just kind of put the video out, and then just kind of, hey, this is a new guy. Here we go, And so up until that point, it was all kept very kind of hush hush, and really, we released it, and the next day, I couldn't walk down the street.
Really?
It was insane. I just it was insane. It was everywhere. It was just absolutely everywhere on the news. It was crazy times.
Is it like that all the time there for you then?
No, it's settled down now. I think it was sort of really the first first year was really super intense.
Yeah.
And then and then obviously things kind of
Cooled off.
Just went back into kind of normality, I suppose, in terms of but I mean that was so coming from nothing to that was was a little bit scary, a little bit weird, but but it's all, but I mean also we had so much work, and we just spent the next few years just working our asses off, kind of rebuilding the band, and we were very, very lucky that we had so much great support from the fans, and they were just amazing. They were really, really encouraging and really helped me a lot, actually, because there were times where honestly it was I wasn't too sure if what the hell am I doing here, sort of thing, So I think we were just very lucky that the fans stuck with us,
Wow. And they embraced you, obviously, which is, that had to be a little bit scary too, that like, are they going to embrace me, or how is it going to go, and like you said, that Steve was such a big figure over in Switzerland.
Yeah, I mean, that was the whole thing, and I mean, all you can do is just do the best that you can do, and luckily we had also so much work that we just didn't think, you just don't think, you just kind of work your ass off and put your head down and push forward, and just go for it, and no, definitely weird times, very, very, very weird times.
Yeah, and I can't imagine. 10 years later, here we are, 4 albums later, and it's still going, and they're still loving the band, and it's funny because when I explain to people in North America about Gotthard, we have a band called the Tragically Hip, and unfortunately, their singer passed away of brain cancer a couple of years ago. But they are Canada's biggest band, but no one else knows them in the rest of the world. It's crazy.
Yeah.
They were.
Oh, there you go.
What's that?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, no.
Exactly. It's weird how different different countries and whatnot. What they, it's cool. It's cool for Canada that we have the Tragically Hip, because he was such a, his name was Gord Downey. He was such an ambassador to the country and loved Canada and wrote songs about hockey and wrote songs about, but in a good way. Like, he was poetic, but anyway.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It wasn't like a cheesy, like, oh, I'm going to write a song about hockey. It was actually about a hockey player who had died in a plane crash, and they didn't find his body until 11 years later, and the hockey team, the Toronto Maple Leafs, had won the Stanley Cup that year. It was just kind of a really good analogy of the song.
Oh, right. Wow.
Yeah. So that kind of defines him. But anyways, Nic, I've taken up enough of your time, and I appreciate you talking with me today, because I was really looking forward to this, and
cool.
It was an honor. So thank you very much.
No worries. My pleasure.
Okay. Well, you enjoy the rest of your day, and good luck, man. Hopefully we can all go out soon.
Yeah, let's hope. Yeah.
Okay, man.
All right. Thanks, mate. Take care of yourself.
Okay.